Record it. Our next break here is our special guest break. We're gonna have 10 boxes from 2023 to 2025. It's a pick your team mixer, and we've got 3 great prizes. But before we get to those, we're gonna be joined now by our special guest, DraftKings analyst Steve Buchanan. Welcome in, Steve.
Steve, appreciate it as always. I think this is our third iteration of these breaks this year, which is exciting. Am I like the most? Have I returned the most? Am I the most consistent guest now of the bunch?
Oh yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, I want to keep that title. So once we finish this, we got to make number 4 because I do enjoy doing these a lot.
Oh yeah, it'll be there. I figure our next one because I toyed with this. I don't know if you saw it, but I did a 4-sport mixer where I had 45, 60 boxes, something like that. It was crazy.
Wow.
But I went through and I combined all the teams. So like each spot was 3 or 4 teams based on like the city.
Yeah.
And I toyed with that and it worked and I filled it. It took like 2 weeks, but I filled it. So I think whenever I have you back on, it should be right around playoff baseball and that first part of the NFL season over. So I was thinking maybe we can toy something there with baseball, football, talk playoffs, talk the
that would be fantastic.
That would be awesome. So
yeah. So let me ask you this though before we start, and we'll keep this between you and I, and then everybody who's listening. Mm-hmm. How much does the sorting department hate you when you make breaks like that?
Well, I'm the sorting department.
Oh, okay. Oh, very good. All right. Okay, good.
A lot.
Okay, good. All right. Yeah. So, all right. So that's good. So like you make these tough breaks, but then you also have to endure it. Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, I'm down.
Yeah, my the managers, they're like, you've done some crazy stuff. You might need some help. So they had me teach a couple guys. So like whenever you get backed up, just give us a holler and we'll send somebody in. So I have had some help over the last few weeks. Some people helping out there.
Well, that's good. That's good because I didn't want you making enemies in the company because you're making these, elaborate breaks. So that's good. That's good.
It's all just me hating myself.
Well, if everyone's gonna hate yourself, if it's you, that's even better. That works okay.
Absolutely. So we're good there.
Fantastic.
All right, guys. Our prizes I have right here for this one. We've got a Josh Allen autographed jersey. Hold it up there. Beckett certified. As you can see, that's the Nike jersey. It's got the logos. It's got everything. It's like $1,000 jersey. Those are really nice.
I was gonna say that's a nice prize right there.
Yeah, and then we have Aiden Hutchinson. That's a custom JSA certified, and a Saquon Barkley, Beckett certified, and his has an inscription there: 2018 Rookie of the Year. So those are our prizes. Our teams. We've got Terry with the Cardinals, George with the Falcons, Neil with the Ravens, Lisa with the Bills. We have Terry again with the Panthers and Bears, David with the Bengals, Ben with the Browns, John with the Cowboys, George with the Broncos and the Lions, Leonard with the Packers, Corey the Texans, Terry with the Colts, George with the Jaguars, Eric the Chiefs, Adam the Raiders, Neil, Chargers and Rams, Wayne with the Dolphins, Sean the Vikings, Dominic the Patriots. That's Steve's team there. Lisa with the Saints, Sean with the Giants. Okay, that's different Sean's. I was gonna say you can't have the Patriots and the Giants. That's horrible.
Conflict of interest.
Adam with the Jets. There's still like resentment there, I think.
Neil
with the Eagles. That's okay. We still hate the Cowboys. Terry with the Steelers, Jamie the 49ers, Brendan the Seahawks, Wayne with the Bucks, Patrick the Titans, and Dominic with the Commanders. You know what? That might be where my hatred of Aaron Rodgers stems too, is from 2010. Could be.
That would. I mean, the timeline seems to make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never really been a fan, but that 2010 year, that one sticks out a little bit. All right, guys, we'll start out here with our 2023 Panini Absolute Football, and we'll get right into the discussion here, Steve. The Buffalo Bills are the DraftKings favorite to win the Super Bowl this year. Do you think this is the year that Josh Allen gets past Patrick Mahomes?
I'll tell you, I think this is the tightest the league has been in many, many years. So I think there's a lot of teams that are kind of in this realm that could get to that point. And you brought up a good jumping off point here to kind of talk about. The Chiefs have really kind of taken a step back. It feels like like if you look at some of the futures that we have over up on DraftKings, the Chiefs are always like massive favorites to win the division. They're only minus 115 this year. It's just a little over a coin flip at this point.
Okay,
Broncos are in the mix, Chargers are in the mix. It's not going to be that easy.
Tell you what, they're talking about the Raiders are the favorites to land Trey Hendrickson too. If the Raiders have that defensive line, Crosby and Hendrickson, that's going to be tough.
No, that's going to change a lot though. But I think it was I want to say 2 years ago, the Chiefs to win the division, even before the season began, it was minus 450, minus 500. And that's just an exorbitant number before the season even begins. But, minus 115 at this point, that's the lowest, or closest to even money I've seen in, I don't even know how long. So there's a lot of teams that you have to watch out for this year. And Patriots coming back, and look at that. Look at that first box.
It worked. Kaboom. Christian McCaffrey, number 2 of 10 for the 49ers.
That's a hell of a nice hit to start there.
Yeah. I mean, the Christian
Not
McCoy
just any
and Quentin
kaboom,
Johnson were nice too.
Kaboom. Right.
That is nice one there. That one's going to Jamie. Christian McCaffrey, kaboom, out of 10.
And now you got to wonder how long that's been sitting in there for what? For almost 3 years now?
Yeah. Yeah.
This 2013? Yeah, 23. Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. Yeah, I just said to Steve right before the break, I said, we've been doing a lot of boxes. This time I went smaller boxes, more potential for the big hit. Let's see if we can pull one this time. And first pack, we hit the kaboom McCaffrey out of 10.
No, that's fantastic. And I don't know who had the 49ers to grab it there, but, congrats on that. To 10, no less.
Now, that's a great one there, too, because I know you do a lot of the daily stuff for DraftKings as well. How do you feel about McCaffrey this year coming back from injury? Because I see so many arguments on both sides of that.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're going to have to really try to. Well, here's the good thing about the 49ers is that they've seemingly had the next man up step up for McCaffrey almost every time he went down or when they needed a backup. How many running backs did they lose during the regular season last year? I think they're on their 5th string running back by the time the year ended. But whoever stepped in was almost there's a nice one there too for the Bills.
Dalton Kincaid.
But every time, one of the guys went down, whether it's McCaffrey or Garendo or whatever, the next guy up stepped up and what was great. So, it kind of feels like the Orioles where they have these prospects just churning out at every point. The 49ers are doing that with their running backs, but I do think that they need to kind of protect him this year, and we'll see what his workload looks like to begin the year.
Yeah, I know last year in leagues, there was one league where a dynasty league where 2 of us were kind of battling it out, and the one told the guy that Christian McCaffrey, if you trade him, don't trade him to Steve. And I said, you don't have to worry about that because I'm not making any offers.
Oh man.
Not yet, David. It'll be coming up soon. Bijan Robinson by storm rookie out of 100. Nice one there for the Falcons as well. Real excited about Bijan's year this year. Moving up draft boards as well. Yep. Now, I did do, I don't know if this is the first year you guys offered them, but I did one of the DraftKings best ball leagues.
Oh, yeah.
I tried one of those out, so I did it a long time ago, so I don't remember who I picked, but...
No, best ball is fun. If you haven't done best ball, DraftKings offers best ball contests there, but you basically draft a team, and then you don't have to set it after that. So basically what happens is you draft a huge roster is kind of what it comes down to, but the highest scoring players on your roster create your lineup. So basically you have, you don't have to worry about the start sit and everything. You just hope that the guys that you have all kind of perform well, and then we kind of create that lineup for you. So it's a really good format, just kind of like, what Ronco used to say, set it and forget it. You basically set your roster, and then you don't have to worry about it for the rest of the year. And there's some big money contests there too as well. So best ball definitely has been catching on over the past few years, and it's one of our definitely more popular offerings on the site.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to try it out because I haven't done one of those before.
Yep.
I did something similar last year. Somebody that was running the Guillotine League did it best ball style, but I didn't really care for the setup of the whole thing. So,
do you like those Guillotine Leagues? I haven't tried it, but I'm like, I'm always kind of intrigued, and then I just never get around to it.
So I was telling you earlier, the one commissioner that I'm in leagues with, he runs 96 team leagues. This year he started back up guillotines, which he hasn't ran in a while, and they're 18 team guillotines. So I joined 3 of those. And we're in the middle of those drafts now. And I'm getting yelled at because I'm on the clock, but I can feel my phone buzzing. So it's like I already told him. I was like, hey, I'm with DraftKings. I'm getting a consult. I'll draft after. So
I mean, I love that. I love that you always make me feel important. That's why I keep coming back. That's one of the biggest reasons.
we love having you on. And again, like we were saying, the league does seem wide open. You were talking about that earlier. Usually, like I usually, at this time of the year, I can tell you like these are the two teams that I think are going to go all the way.
Sure.
This year I just don't feel like there's those two teams. I feel like Baltimore maybe should be, but they haven't shown it in the postseason. So you can't just say Baltimore's the team because until they show you they can do it, you can't just think they're going to. So I think the AFC is a little bit more open.
Yep.
I mean, obviously the Chiefs are going to be there at the end. We'll see that at the end. But
I mean, I don't know, man. Like I'm not positive on that. Like they're going to be great defensively. They really did a good job. They kind of shored up their offensive line a little bit with their number one pick, which obviously was a big need that they had. But with all the stuff going on with Rice, I guess you could say, you're banking on Hollywood Brown being healthy, hopefully. Worthy, what's his sophomore season look like? There's a lot of question marks for the Chiefs. That they always end up being there, and it's weird to say that about a team that just went 15-2 last year and made it to the Super Bowl. But at least on paper, it's probably one of the weaker Chiefs teams we've seen in the past 5-6 years.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. I think they're still going to be there in terms of those final four teams. You can pretty much expect the Chiefs will be there divisional weekend. That's kind of like with Baltimore. Until they show us they're not going to be, I think they're going to be there every time. And with that, I think the Bills are going to be there every time. The Ravens are going to be there pretty much every time. And you're always looking for that fourth team. And the Bengals' defense is so bad that I don't know that the Bengals can do it. And
I mean that's the biggest thing because it feels like they got the offense down. And they've had it down for the past couple of years, but injuries have piled up, obviously. Defense has been terrible, but they should be in the mix. And then, obviously, what the Patriots have done this year. Not just saying that because I'm a Boston guy, but, you bring in some weapons for Drake May. Drake May looked, I thought very good last year. Now, they have the second best odds in the AFC East. What if they kind of sneak their way in there? So there's a lot to consider, but I think it's fun this year because last year, for as much as I love football, it felt like, you kind of already knew where the teams were going to land. Like there wasn't any huge surprises except like, maybe how well the Commanders did, late and everything with Daniels and all that. But this year it kind of feels like, okay, we kind of got an open field this year. It doesn't feel like it's going to be overly predictable. That's kind of where I'm at with this year.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, I think an exciting division is the division that's usually the worst in the league. The NFC South looks exciting. A lot of young talent there. Yep. Bryce Young looked really good at the end of last year. They brought in Tedero and McMillan. The Bucs look like they're falling back with all the injuries at receiver. That's going to be tough for them. And I'm really excited to see Penix and Young and see what those guys can do.
I'll tell you, I thought Bryce Young was one of the lesser talked about stories in the second half of the year. Like to consider where he was from where he was to start the year last year, get benched. And who was that even for? Was that for Dalton? I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it was. I mean, for Christ's sake, 2024, we're talking about Andy Dalton taking over a team. But then for him to come back and look like, not even like a shell of his former self, like a completely different player. The confidence was there, the throws he was making. So it's like, all right, now let's bring him into next year and see where we get. That one numbered?
Number to 10, 8 of 10. Tyler
no,
Conklin.
I was going to say that looks like a nice one there. Was that Conklin?
Yep.
Nice.
I think he's in LA now, right?
Yeah, he's on the Rams. Yep.
Oh, Rams.
Yep. He was he was one of Rodgers' favorite targets last year.
Yeah.
But Bryce Young, I think, put it this way, if you still have your Bryce Young rookie cards and you gutted through all the crap that you watched, I hope you get rewarded this year because you deserve it for holding onto those cards. Because I abandoned ship. I will be the first to admit I abandoned ship on my Bryce Young stuff, and now I'm sitting here and I'm like, I made a mistake. I think I made a mistake.
I'm really high on Stroud even after last year. I think CJ Stroud, typical for a quarterback to have that sophomore slump. I think CJ Stroud is going to be really good over the long term, but I still got out after the rookie year because I figured they're probably going to be higher now than they will be in 2-3 years. And then by the time he hits his prime and they start to climb back up, you'd be able to grab them a little bit cheaper again. So I kind of played it that way, and it looks like it's kind of working out for me there.
Yep.
So.
I mean, no, I mean his stock, sunk, dramatically from where we were rookie year. But the depth chart is a little tough. I'll say for the Texans, without the nice one, nice Jaden there.
Yep,
without Tank Dell, it's kind of focuses on Nico Collins, and Christian Kirk is there. Okay, Justin Watson's not going to be a consistent guy, so it's a lot of question marks for the Texans. But if they can put it together, and if they can get Tank Dell back on the field, then okay, that's a team that I can contend with. But I think a lot of it has to do with Tank Dell, because if not, I mean, you're going to see double teams all over Nico Collins, and then what? That's where the offense is going to sputter, I think.
I do think Kirk is good. I think I'm more concerned with their run game.
Yep.
Joe Mixon was so good last year, but he is hurt. Nick Chubb has been hurt how many times? So,
right.
Yeah, I think the Texans are definitely a team where, they're a little bit older at the skill positions. So those injuries can definitely make an impact on them as well.
And the thing with Chubb, too, is when he did come back last year, obviously he came back a little slow, which you expect from the injury that he had, but he never really kind of hit that second gear. And that's where I'm like, okay, that's a little concerning, because there was no rush to bring him back, right? The season was lost already. Mm-hmm. So you're not rushing him back. So if you kind of bring him in, when he feels good and that he still looks like that, it's like, okay, well, maybe he's not going to be the same player. And if that's the case, and Mixon's hurt, then you really got nothing in that backfield.
Yeah.
Because Chubb's not going to catch out of the backfield either. That's one of the biggest knocks on him. He doesn't really catch out of the backfield, where Mixon will. Mixon can go and catch 4 or 5 passes if need be.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing. Like you said, Nico Collins is kind of on an island out there. Now, they did do some work in the draft, but I think Higgins and Noel are both down the depth chart. I don't think they're up there starting right away.
Which set is this? This is new for this year, right?
This is 2024 totally certified.
Okay, and that's a new set, correct?
They brought it back after a few years away.
Okay, yeah, because I remember this was the one I was like, oh, I don't think I've seen this one yet, when I was looking at the boxes that you were offering.
Yeah, these are really nice here. I big fan of the set. I've always been a big fan of the set. I have a collection. Like, my collection is basically like players that I really enjoyed watching, and my Julio Jones RPA is from Totally Certified. So.
Oh wow, a Julio Jones RPA. Wow.
Yep. Yeah, I don't go for the let's see if I can buy the most expensive card out there. I've always been the, what do I really like? And that's what I buy, and that's...
Yep. No, that's the way to do it. I wish I had that mentality, because I always say I'm going to do that, and then I go, whoa, what can I flip? That's kind of... that's where I
end up whenever I want something else. I'm like, well, what can I flip to get something bigger?
Right, exactly. And I'll tell you what I won't be flipping, my Bryce Young, because I got rid of them all. What an idiot.
I did buy tonight before all the salesmen left. I ordered 2 boxes of the AEW Skybox Universe that we'll be breaking with RJ next week. And we got in a box of 1992 Classic Best Baseball, where the prospects are Chipper Jones, Mike Piazza, Derek Jeter. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go for that. So I have that.
It's funny you bring that up, because like I've kind of, and it wasn't even like on purpose, but like I've been finding myself trying to pick up some vintage stuff lately, and I think I kind of like it, because I always was like, nah, I'm not gonna do vintage. Like when I got back into cards, I'm like, I'm not gonna do the vintage stuff, and I kind of been creeping back into it a little bit. I've been finding myself kind of liking it. And honestly, what it was, it's been some of like, where you can buy like packs online and stuff, like the thing, like that's kind of where I started seeing them again. And I'm like, I actually kind of like this. I kind of like messing with the vintage stuff. So slowly but surely kind of getting into that now.
Yeah, I've been the same way. I always said I don't buy vintage because I don't have ties to those players. But the players that I do have ties to, the Pirates, old school players, the Steelers, and I did watch those guys because they put out DVD sets where you can watch the complete games of their championships. Like, I have watched those games, and I've been going back and buying all the rookie cards of basically the top guys from the local teams.
Yep. So
I've been into vintage a little bit recently too, but not like I'm not one of those crazy, like, you gotta buy vintage because it's always gonna go up. I'm not one of those.
Right. Right. Yeah, I'm definitely not one of those people either. But I think I just genuinely am starting to enjoy the vintage stuff, and I feel like that's because maybe I'm aging a bit myself. But here we are.
Now that we're vintage, we don't see the
Right,
problem
right.
with it.
All right, so I know that I'm the guest. I know that I'm the guest, but I'm going to pitch you a question now. As a Pittsburgh resident, how do you feel about your team this year?
The Steelers?
Yep.
Hate it. Hate it.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of Aaron Rodgers at all.
Sure. Yeah.
I whenever they made the trade for DK Metcalf, I said, first of all, they made the trade for Russell Wilson last year, and I said, or they signed him, whatever they did, and I said, this might be what saves my fandom because I'm getting so frustrated with the team. Sure. And then they traded for DK Metcalf, and at the time they could have still brought Russell Wilson back, and I was like, all right, like I was a big fan of those Seahawks teams. Let's go. We're back on it. And then nope, we're holding out for 75-year-old Aaron Rodgers to make up his mind. And it just it rubbed me the wrong way. Yeah. I just feel like they don't know what they're doing anymore. They're kind of they're kind of half in we think we can win and half in we need some more pieces to win. And you can't do that. You got to go one way or the other, and they're just stuck in the middle.
So my kind of thought process was, so when they first got Metcalf, I'm like, okay, I like that move. I think that's a good move. And then when they brought Rodgers on, I'm like, okay, but it kind of feels like I would like that pairing a lot a few years ago. I don't know how I feel about that pairing now, because when you look at Rodgers' stats from last year, he had his lowest average distance of target, which is layman terms, how far on average you're throwing the ball. He had the lowest of his career since 2017. So if you're not throwing deep downfield at a consistent rate, then does Metcalf kind of fit that mold? Not really. And then that's also what kind of Calvin Austin is. So it's okay, well, so your top two receivers, that doesn't fit the mold. But then they go and grab Jonnu Smith. And I'm like, okay, that does work well. So now you got Freiermuth, Jonnu Smith, two short range guys, good red zone targets. Cause obviously there's going to be a lot of throwing in the red zone this year. Yeah. So that does kind of make sense. So it's you actually almost put it perfectly. It's they're half in and half out, because some of the moves to me make a lot of sense. And then some of the other moves is well, I don't know. That doesn't, I don't know. Honestly, if you were planning on starting Mason Rudolph, then Metcalf Austin, great. Good pair. But with Rodgers and his lack of throwing downfield, which is something he obviously did a lot with Green Bay and whatever, I don't know. It just doesn't really mesh well. So I like the Smith move a lot. I think actually he's going to do very, very well because, I mentioned earlier, one of Rodgers' top targets last year, aside from Wilson and Adams, was Conklin. Mm-hmm. Ton of targets for the Jets with Rodgers last year. So I think the Smith move is great. DK is fine. You get the player because he's the player, but doesn't fit the offensive scheme maybe you think you're getting.
Yeah, and not only that, but to go further, does I can see his face, but I can't think of his name. The offensive coordinator, does he have a scheme? I mean, he's right. In Atlanta, he had Bijan Robinson, and he didn't know what to do with him.
Oh, Arthur Smith?
Yes.
Yeah.
His whole his whole claim to fame is we have a 6'2" monster. Let's give it to him 50 times a game.
Right.
So I mean, he built a career on it, but you don't have that guy everywhere else like that.
Right.
Derrick Henry is unique.
Right.
They don't come around very often.
There ain't no Derrick Henry on the Steelers. I'll tell you that.
No. Yeah, I'm not sure what they have. I like Jaylen Warren. I like the acquisition of Johnson, but I don't know that they're necessarily top tier running back caliber.
Yeah. Hey, let me get your thoughts on contenders here. How do you feel about changing the scheme so almost every card kind of looks like a parallel? What did you think about that?
I'm not a huge fan of that looks, but I love the way they swapped it out from 18 packs down to 6.
Yeah.
Because and I know a lot of people are gonna be like, oh yeah, you're a breaker and you don't want to sort it all. It's not that. It's Contenders is such a good product because it's autograph based.
Right.
So like, I don't know anybody that collects the whole set of Contenders.
Right.
All we really need is the hits. You know, Contenders gives us those hits that you don't get anywhere else, and that's what Contenders is great for. You can go back in the early 2000s, when we're still playoff contenders, all the way up to now, and you find guys like Romo and Edelman and all those guys who don't have maybe anything else, but they have that Contenders autograph, and that was like the thing for Contenders. And now they're I get it with a lot of the way, you know, the market moved and the way the trading card game is now. That changed a little bit, but I do love the fact that they're more focused on the autographs, because I mean that's what makes Contenders contenders.
So my thought was, when they made this change, I didn't like it. And I thought that like it was kind of like a cheap way to be like, oh, well, look at these cards now. Like, because at the end of the day, like, Contenders was, before they made this change, a very boring product, in my opinion, aside from the autos, right?
Yep.
But like, you know, it feels like Topps flagship. Like you blow right through the base just to see what the hits are, because that's all that matters. So I almost felt like, instead of changing it so that every card looks like a parallel, why not make that a, you know, autograph centric set like you have, but make it on like a plates and patches type thing, where it's like you're only getting like 10 cards maybe, but you know, 6 of them are going to be hits, right? Because like I feel like I'd be so much more inclined to get, and this is a big reason why I don't like Contenders, because it's like I'm just getting it for the autos, right?
Yeah.
There's really no other appeal. So why not make it like a set, like a plates and patches, or what's the other one too? I think it's not triple threads, it's threads and patches. Is that right?
No. Topps has triple threads for baseball, where it's
right. There's a football
parallels.
one, and it was like you got one encased card and then like one pack of base, and there was like 3 cards in there. Whatever it was. But just like something on that format. Like I think that's where Contenders can do well, because Contenders is one of the early releases, if I'm not mistaken, per year. But it just kind of just flounders. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't stay consistent. So that's just my uneducated thought as a collector. But
no, I get what you're saying, and I think a lot of people are frustrated with that too. Like, I mean, here's 2 just like inserts. They're both just inserts, but they do look like parallels, and like you could go cross-eyed looking for the serial number.
Right.
So like, totally. I definitely get that, and I agree completely. Contenders is the autograph, you know, that everybody wanted for so long. So I think they did the right move by focusing on Contenders, and if they were going to keep this format, I think maybe getting rid of the crazy foils might be the best idea for them. But they don't ask me that.
when I first saw Contenders, when they made the switch, I thought I was watching like a hot box. That's what I thought it was. Not realizing that it's like, oh no, those are all the base cards now. And it's like, oh really? Like that waters it down. Like that, you know what I mean? Like that's just, I'm not a fan of Contenders, if you can get my drift. But
we got Contenders first off the line on release day of Contenders. And I had ran or I had a couple of orders, you know, some first off the line, some hobby. And I brought them back and I set them down and I opened one. And the first one I opened, I was like, oh man, I opened up the wrong box. And I didn't. So I get that completely, because I was like, oh, like that's a problem. But it makes sense completely.
When is the licensing switching over? Because obviously, looking at Topps Finest, we know that this is going to be completely different.
Yeah, it's I think May.
It's soon,
April,
right?
Or May for.
Oh, that's soon.
Yeah, it's April or May. The NBA is October of this year. So the 2025-2026 class is, unless they like strike a deal with Panini exclusively or something, the players, all the rookies will be flipped over to Topps there.
Oof. Major shift coming.
Yeah.
Because what's Panini is going to be their big flag in the planting their flag in WNBA, right?
Well, yeah, they have the WNBA. They also have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Luka Doncic, 2 exclusives. So, probably the 2 best basketball players in the world right now.
Right.
So they have them locked into exclusives, so they won't be in Topps products. That's kind of what Topps has been doing.
Trade-off.
Now Panini doing it back. You know,
right.
Back and forth there, but
right.
I stay out of that. I watch it, and I just open the boxes.
Of course, I'm just the guy that shows the product. Don't ask me for anything.
I am not on either side in that court battle. But yeah, they go back and forth with that, and I've got to think Panini's probably going to do something similar. Like, I don't know why they wouldn't, especially since like they're kind of not exactly best of friends.
Yep.
Going on. So I would got to think it's going to be something similar. And I know like they're going to run unlicensed product. Panini is, and they do have some really good player exclusives. So,
it's a good one.
Yeah, Kevin Falk, old school finest look here, 28 of 50 for the Patriots. Nice one for sure. Going to Dominic. Now, who was your favorite of those types of running backs? You had the Kevin Falks, you had the Rex Burkhead, you had James White. A lot of those pass catching specialists. Did you have a favorite out of those?
I'll tell you, I always had a soft spot for Rex Burkhead. Dude was just like a massive, beefy of a man, and just when you needed somebody to get into the end zone, like that was just the guy. Like you always kind of like attached to like these one-off players. You're like, I don't know why I love this guy, but like this is my guy. Like I think Rex Burkhead was kind of my guy there. That's another nice one too. Is that one numbered?
I don't think this one's numbered. It's a Prodigies. Xavier Worthy for the Chiefs. Chiefs have a couple of hits. First box, they hit Christian Okoye out of 35. This one, Xavier Worthy, finest Prodigies. I think everybody thinks they see John Elway whenever this card comes out.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean,
how could you not think John Elway first?
Right. If you covered the name, I would have been like, oh, nice Elway. So 150.
Yeah, they're very good at how they get everybody to think that. And I think Warren Moon, not only was he a great quarterback, but I love the fact that in every set, he's for a different team. It doesn't matter. Like, from one set to the next, he's a Seahawk, he's a Viking, he's a Chief. It doesn't matter. He played for everybody.
He's the Edwin Jackson of football, it feels like. That's Warren Moon. I just saw somebody in the chat said Darren Sproles, like, perfect example.
Yeah.
Like, perfect example of a guy who's like, he's not like the guy, but like, that's my guy. That's what it is. He's not the guy, but he's my guy.
But I think all of us that play fantasy have those guys.
That's where a lot of it comes from. That's 100% where a lot of that comes from, without a doubt.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
We all have that guy. Like my first money league championship cashing out was Tim Tebow as my quarterback. I picked him up whenever he came in, and I rode that Tebow running in the fourth quarter all the way to the championship. It's like every time Tebow would get bounced to somewhere else, I'm like, why don't they give him a better shot? They owe it to my guy.
The Mets should have given him a better shot too.
I completely agree with that too.
Remember that was such a weird time.
Yeah, I mean, he hit really well. What was it? In single A, he had like that real good average. He didn't have any power or anything. And then in double A, he just like average tanked. And it was, I don't know, it was so weird. I mean, to put that in perspective, like I went to school with a kid. He was drafted like 4 times through school. And then he was drafted by the Braves in like the 3rd round. They told him, you're the future Chipper Jones, you're the replacement, all this. Single A, and like from Pee-wee, like T-ball all the way through, he graduated college. He made 1 error. And all that time, he played shortstop. He has records for home runs. He has records for saves at Pitt. Like, he has all kinds of records. Got to the Braves, single A. He hit like 3-something, killed it. They moved him up to double A, and they said, all right, you have to start pulling the ball now. We want more power. His average was like 210. They cut him.
I was going to say,
that's
it. He's done.
Like, they didn't even let him build on it. They just flat out cut him. And I'm like, man, that is crazy how, because, I mean, that's the greatest athlete I've seen with my own eyes ever. And he wasn't good enough to get out of double A. Like, it was just insane.
It's crazy. Yep.
So, like,
unbelievable.
As we all sit here and yell on Sundays, like, oh, I bet the over. What are you doing? These guys are really good.
That's going to be all of us in about 2 weeks. Yep. I definitely I know this happens to a lot of people too, and I know anybody who bets or anything is going to relate to this. We can't wait for football to start. By week 2, I'm like, I'm so tired of this BS because they're betting and the bad beats come. It's like, oh, this is the worst sport ever. I will say though, I am nervous because obviously with betting and daily fantasy, I'm a big red zone guy. Don't know how I feel about this move to ESPN. A little nervous about it.
I don't like it.
A little nervous about it.
I can say I don't like that stuff. I'm I'm almost in a position where I can publicly say I don't.
Oh,
like
I can say that too. You can quote me, put it in an article. Guy from DraftKings doesn't like the ESPN move. I don't give a crap. Go ahead, quote me. I speak for the people. We don't like this move.
I have not been a fan of ESPN in years. Like I've moved to NFL Network, MLB Network.
Yep.
Like those were so much better than ESPN.
Yep.
Now back in the day, the ESPN news after the games, they put up the whole box score. And they had everything across. They showed all the numbers. If they hit a home run, they showed you how many they had, RBIs, whatever. I used to love that. Every morning before school, I'm all in on ESPN News. And then once that went away and ESPN Classic went away and then ESPN became mostly political, I was like, this just isn't fun anymore. Like that's not what sports is.
Yeah,
like,
I can't even tell. I mean, I'm for someone that cut cable a couple of years ago. I can't even tell you the last time that I watched ESPN like on my own. Like it's been on in the background in places I've been, but like I've never gone and sat down anywhere recently. But like, hey, let's put on ESPN. Nor will that ever happen. But now I guess it is going to happen because I'm not going to watch Red Zone. So I guess I'm kind of contradicting myself.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know how I feel about it because last year was the first year I purchased Red Zone. I always thought like I'm not gonna be a fan of Red Zone because I like to watch the whole thing. And then we got some Dallas Cowboys games starting quarterbacks that they were signing off the street every week at 4:00. And I'm like, I can't watch this whole game. You flip it over to Red Zone and it's like, hey, look, there's Justin Herbert making another march. I can get behind that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely got into what the appeal was on Red Zone whenever I saw that, because for years I was just watching the Cowboys every Sunday, and I was like, man, I don't like this team. I have to watch them every week. Why do they do this to us? We don't have to do that anymore. And now they're like, maybe you do.
Right. I know.
What was it last year? Like $10-15 for. I have Comcast, and where I'm at, the package was like 15 to get Red Zone, and you got like 10 other channels that you'd never turn on. And
yeah. I got it through mobile, like on like my iPad and stuff. It was $10 a month. I mean, it was totally worth it.
Yeah, and now you have to go to that ESPN format where you need Disney Plus, ESPN Plus. You need the ESPN app.
It's insane.
Now you need Nicolas Cage to spray some oil on it and see if he can see the hidden message on how to get there.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
Yeah, it's just I don't understand like why they want to make stuff so difficult. I understand why they want to make more money. I'm not gonna bash anybody for that, but I don't.
Yeah, if only we had something like cable.
Yeah.
To negate all this.
Remember how much we all hated cable and streaming was the future, and now streaming is just one company.
Right. Oh, I didn't.
All right. Do you have your magnifying glass? You got an Anthony Richardson autograph.
I mean, look, I'm not going to knock anybody for signing. Let me tell you this. So quick story, and I know this is not football, but I was at for AEW. I was in Texas. I was there, and I was at StarCast, which is like their kind of convention there. And I was watching them sign a lot of the Upper Deck cards for the upcoming set that's coming out. I forget, the name escapes me at the moment, so I apologize. But I was watching, but I was watching them sign the stickers, and it's just sheets on sheets on sheets of those stickers to sign, and they're there for a couple hours. So like, I can't even imagine what that's like. But that signature by Anthony Richardson is so microscopic that it's like you almost have to put effort to make it that small. Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
You would think it would cramp.
Again, I'm not going to complain about the autos, but I mean, what on earth?
Now, I saw this guy get hurt last week, and I felt terrible whenever I saw him get hurt. I thought it was going to be way worse than it was. I don't know if you saw that play where he landed on his head like that. That was brutal. But what it did do, Godwin is not going to play till October. McMillan's now out 8 weeks. Emeka Egbuka is a rookie there, and Baker Mayfield guns the ball. I don't think he cares who to. His team, the other team, it doesn't matter. Baker's throwing it. So I think Emeka Egbuka in fantasy draft, maybe the first day of the NFL, we do maybe the millionaire maker. Emeka Egbuka might be a sneaky pick.
Right.
Or
And
everybody thinks that.
I'm sure he's dirt cheap too. I don't have it in front of me, but I guarantee you he's like 3K. So that's the only bad part, because like we released the salaries for the Millionaire Maker and all week one in like mid-July.
Yeah.
So any injuries that happen during the preseason, it's not priced in, because the prices do not change. Once they're set, they're set. So like you have those opportunities, like if a big guy goes down, like, you know, like a McMillan or something, you know, if whatever backup ends up playing, those guys are going to be like minimum price. So like it makes a big difference.
Yeah, I mean that's I think that's one of the big things throughout the year. That's playing in daily, which rookie or which backup running back, you know, whenever they come in, the handcuffs, the different receivers, you know, they're stepping up, because, you know, a lot of times, like this year, Lad McConkey is the number one for the Chargers. But they signed Keenan Allen back. So there's going to be weeks where teams take McConkey away, and Keenan Allen's going to put up some numbers. Keenan Allen is very good still.
I fear he is going to eat into McConkey dramatically.
I think he is too.
Dramatically. For somebody who was like a second and third thought in Chicago, he is like 1A to 1B quickly. And just because he has that rapport with Justin Herbert already. So I saw that signing, and it's like, it's not a big deal, but it is a big deal, right? Like, because it's on 31 other teams, they signed Keenan Allen right now, and it's like, okay. He goes to that one team, which is the Los Angeles Chargers, and it's like, oh, this is a big deal now, and that's it shakes up everything in LA.
Yeah, because I mean, Keenan Allen's still a really good player, especially for the plays he runs. I mean, he's a big guy. He always gets covered by those little slot guys or linebackers, and he's running those short routes over the middle, and Herbert loves those. So I don't know. Keenan Allen's kind of like a sneaky pick, I feel like. And I gotta ask you about this guy too, Kyle Williams from the Patriots, rookie auto here out of 700. Do you think he makes a big impact for your Patriots this year?
I think so, because if I'm not mistaken, I think Polk's out for the year now. I think he's having a season-ending injury, surgery. So I almost feel like I saw that almost right before we came on. So don't hold me to that if I'm wrong. But now that does open up another spot, so I think that could be a big difference maker. He's got some good speed too, so definitely something to watch.
Yeah, and
Luminance, is this the first product every year where the college autos are in, and then Elite is the first ones when they're in their actual uniforms? Is that how it goes?
I can't remember if it's Luminance or Score. They come out very close together. I think Score might be first.
Okay, that's right.
There's Riley Leonard of the Colts.
But, you know, obviously that we're seeing a lot of the college names come out of this in Luminance. Yeah.
Now they did change this up a little bit, and it makes it a little bit harder whenever I'm sorting it because they made the names really tiny on the bottom.
Right.
I don't know how good people think my eyes are, but they're not that good.
I do like Luminance. I feel like it doesn't get a lot of love, but I do think it's a solid set.
There's another wide receiver that could step up a little bit. He was really good in Oregon. Tez Johnson. This one's out of 75 for the Bucks.
And for the price point, you get 3 autos. You get a number of parallels and numbered cards. I feel like it's for the price point, I think it's a very fair set.
And I think the next box in this is as well Score, because you get the 4 autographs. This year, I think I might be wrong, but I think the only 2 exclusives that aren't in Panini are Cam Ward and Jackson Dart. So you get everybody else, like Genty. I've pulled maybe 2-3 Abdul Carters. So, he's in there. So you've got top guys from this rookie class in the product this year. So it's a really good one too.
I think Score gets a bad rap just because of how many base cards you get, right? Yeah. Like, I think that's a big detractor from people, but it's like, okay, I understand, but like, there are not many boxes left aside from like Contenders where you're getting over 3 autos, and and good autos too. So I think Score can be slept on a bit, because I'll tell you, I see a lot of Score in like Target or whatnot, but it's the hobby version, I think, is a sleeper.
Yeah, it's absolutely one of my favorites, and I've bought a ton of it. And one thing I like about it is, it's not just for rookies. They have veteran autographs in there too.
Yep.
Veteran autographs are always numbered low. So anytime you
Yeah.
pull a low numbered, top of the line veteran player, that's nice too. But I've pulled multiple Steeler autographs, out of blasters, mega boxes, hobbies, whatever score. Like I have them in my collection at home because if I pull a Steeler autograph, I don't get rid of it. So I have like TJ Watt and Villanueva, and all those guys that I've pulled personally out of those in boxes for myself that I just can't see myself getting rid of.
How has the new National Treasures look? Because I know that's fairly new, and I believe that's the last iteration, if I'm not mistaken. Correct?
It'll be the last with a license. I don't know if they are planning on.
Sorry. That's what I meant. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I don't know what their plans are for the future of that, but yeah, it's been pretty nice.
Yeah, it seems like it's pretty loaded this year.
Yeah, I feel like they loaded them all up. I haven't done the basketball yet. I think maybe one box of basketball, so I haven't really seen too much of it. But I've got to think the same thing. The losing the licenses very soon. So if you have any sticker autographs or you have any memorabilia of guys that you're not going to be able to use, load them up, especially in the premium products. So I think that's kind of what they've been doing, and you can see that in products where they're like, oh wow, like it's just hit after hit after hit.
Right, because I've been seeing some open, and I've been like, oh man, like you're gonna tempt me to get a couple of these, like, and that's obviously splurging for majority of us. But yeah, I've been very impressed with National Treasure so far.
Yeah, it's been a good one. Well, here's one that's not low numbered, but it is a second-year player, and I guess it is a good player to talk about too. Braylon Allen, from the New York Jets. Now, Aaron Glenn said they're going to run a committee. I think most of us think Breece Hall is incredible. Right. Braylon Allen looked good last year. How do you feel about the Jets? Are you avoiding them, in redrafts? Are you ever going to use one of their running backs on a lineup on DraftKings?
So I think, like, especially when you have like these type of committees, it's fantastic for daily fantasy, and in the hopes that like you hit on one of those guys, because the ownership is always going to be very low, because a lot of people don't want to take those chances, and especially if you're playing in like those big field, like $1 million prize pool ones, people want to be somewhat conservative for the most part. But it's always, you look at like the winning lineups, it's always those ones that took the shots, right, and nailed that guy that's like 1 to 5% ownership. And like this is a perfect example. And you just said, I think it's Breece Hall. We like Breece Hall. Okay. So if the majority of people think it's Breece Hall, well, if I'm making my lineup, maybe I'm using Braylon Allen, because if all that ownership's to Breece Hall and it's Allen who gets into the end zone twice, I have a massive up on the rest of the field at this point. So from a redraft perspective, from like a season long, staying away. Like there's just, unless it's late in the draft and like, Braylon Allen is still there, I'll take a shot. But like you can't feel good in your draft early on and grab a Breece Hall when it's like, well, there's a guy very talented breathing down my neck back here. So from like a season long daily perspective, staying away. For daily fantasy, very interesting prospect when you're looking at those two.
Yeah, and you know what? That's obviously that's why we bring you on. You make great points, but that's a great point, because it is every time all the fantasy magazines and everything always interview the people that win the Millie Maker, and it's always like, well, why'd you do this? And it's like, well, I wanted to spend up and get 2 premium wide receivers, so I went with this running back as kind of a punt, and they scored 3 touchdowns. Like nobody else has that. So. And
that's the thing. It's like, I'm not telling you when you're making like your daily lineup to just go like all low owned guys, because the idea that they're all going to hit is very small, very little. But if you have, let's just say, because we were just talking about it, McConkey goes off, but he has super high ownership. That's okay if you have that guy, because you're pairing McConkey with some of these lower owned guys who went off, where the rest of the field is, you don't ever want to duplicate your lineup from what everybody else has, because you're not going to cash those big cash prizes. You want to find those diamond in the rough guys. This guy has potential. He's 1 injury away from being a starter. Those are the guys that on your, day-to-day lineups, those are the guys who are going to make the big difference. It's just finding out who they are, being early to the party, right? Like that's Yeah, we don't want to be early to the party in a social environment. That sucks. You want to be early to the party when building your daily fantasy lineups. That's okay. That works. Just never be early to a party in a normal setting.
And I think we've all had that moment too where we look at it and we're like, you know what? This guy's gonna sleep. Like, no one's gonna pick him. He's gonna go off. I see it. And then it comes and you're like, okay, everybody else was right.
Right. Everybody else was right there too. Yep. We all have the same mindset. All right, I'm going to put you to the test here. I saw that redemption. I saw it's a mystery, so now we got to figure out who it is.
Well, they didn't tell us yet.
Okay.
But it is mystery rookie Gem Masters Redemption. Yeah, they so what they're doing now with the Panini, they did this last year for the first time. The mystery rookies they announced at the end of the year.
Yep.
So if you quizzed me on last year's, I wouldn't remember. I think Caleb Williams was rookie 1. Yeah, I can't remember.
They did that in Select too, right? With the XRC autos.
So Select, like 24 Select will have 25 XRCs.
Well, right.
So from the draft, and it'll like tell you like wide receiver 4. So that's the 4th wide receiver drafted. With these ones, they're actually rookies of this year. So it's a 2025 score. It's gonna be a rookie card of a 2025 rookie, but they're gonna determine that after we see it. And they said the reason for this was because Puka Nacua went off, and nobody had Puka Nacua cards because he wasn't in any of the sets.
Okay.
And they said every year there's rookies that they're drafted in the 7th round. Brock Purdy was another one. They're drafted late, 6th, 7th round. They're undrafted, and they make a splash, and they're not any products. They said, so what we can do is we can put a mystery rookie in, and then what that does is at the end of the year, those guys that didn't have cards, we can go back and make their cards in those sets so they actually have rookie cards, and you can get, the big splash players will actually have cards out there.
That's very nice of them.
Yeah, I do like it. I do like it. But also it's a game, who's going to be the mystery rookie? Like, I mean, even Isaiah Bond has rookie cards in here. So like, even if you was thinking Bond, cause he signed late, could pull something off.
Yep.
I don't know. So again, if it's going to be somebody that steps up and goes crazy, it's going to be somebody that we're not thinking about right now. So that's kind of like it could be really good. It could not. You're just kind of waiting to see who those guys are. But
yeah,
so now the neat addition.
So now the intrigue is, do you hold it or do you sell it? I feel like those could go for a pretty penny because you don't know what you're going to get.
Some of them do. Some of them sell pretty well. And again, you're looking at this one like the Gem Masters. I haven't looked in the detail on those, so I'm slacking a little bit there. But the the Gem Masters, what is that going to be? Numbered to something? Is it going to be a special kind of card? So now,
all right. So
really to the point, like, do I hold this? Do I,
Right. So all right. So Steve Rose opens a box of score for himself. He pulls one of those. What does he do?
Don't know. You know what? I don't think I sell it right now.
Yeah.
I don't think I sell it before week 1. I maybe wait till like week 2 or 3, see if one of those guys, that burst onto the scene that doesn't have a lot of stuff out there, and you're like, okay, that might be who this is, and then in the eBay listings you'll see people will put possibly, and they'll put a name there, and it'll tempt people, and the prices will rise. So
right.
I don't know that right now is the perfect time to sell those, but I think there is a magic point in the year where you can be like, all right, now's the time to pull the trigger.
Right.
And I think they'll be at their premium at that point.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. That's solid.
I shorted myself on sleeves. Give me 2 seconds.
Okay. Well, everybody, we're going to wait for Steve to get some sleeves.
I grabbed like 4 packs, I thought, but I guess I didn't have enough.
Well, that's good because I'm like, how am I going to fill 30 seconds? This is not even my show.
I think I told you too, whenever I set up the thing with RJ City for next week, he wrote to AEW corporate and he's like, he's the host and producer of Steel City Collectibles YouTube show. And I was like, I like that.
Right.
I've never used either of those words, but I'm going to need some new business cards.
Yeah.
That's
I will tell you, you will definitely have. I will definitely be a viewer of that break. I am looking forward to that a lot. I love RJ City. I work closely with him when I was in Texas. I will be doing so again in Toronto. He is a fabulous person. He is exactly the person that you watch on TV. He is. There is nothing different. He is that guy, camera on, camera off. So I very much enjoy being around him.
yeah, that just makes me like really excited for that break even more because
Yeah.
Hey EW is one of my favorite things that's out there.
Yep.
Like my wife
Yep.
and I watch it every week. The one he just did with Tekla was hilarious.
Yep.
So, like we love those, and yeah, excited for that one. But
Yeah, get in that break if you are not already. Even if you're not a big AW person, you will be thoroughly entertained. It's the price. Think of it as the price of admission. Like that is, it will be worth getting in.
and he he kept writing me like emails and stuff, and then like I was like, well, we're gonna promote it this way on social media. Like if you can help us out there too, and so he shared it, and the stuff he was writing to people. And I was like dying watching that. And I wrote to her, I was like, maybe I should explain this a little better. He goes, no, because I know what's going on. He goes, I'm just having fun. Like,
Yep.
all right, we're good. Here we have Rock Taylor, turn of the century autograph for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I will say, I haven't watched the Steelers preseason. They're actually playing right now. I'm not sure who Rock Taylor is.
I was gonna say I don't think I even know who that is.
I do not.
That does not come to mind quickly.
No.
I will say for as much obviously I cover a lot of NFL for DraftKings and everything. I really don't watch the preseason. I just honestly I feel like it clouds so many people's judgment for meaningless games, right? Because I mean obviously especially for DraftKings, NFL is king when it comes to content, when it comes to paid contests, whatever. That is always our number one. When the Super Bowl ends, DraftKings is getting ready for the next season of NFL. I can promise you. When it comes to preseason, and we have contests in preseason, if you're really that much, much of a sicko, we do offer that. No judgment here. I work there, so it's all good.
I've been in a few of those. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I mean, hey, it helps keep me, employed. So by all means, do it. But in all seriousness, is that I don't really watch the preseason because by the time we roll around to week 2 or 3, 90% of what you watched didn't even matter. Doesn't matter. So I try to actually kind of block that out a little bit because I feel like when I get to week 1, week 2, my judgment's a little skewed from what I saw that ends up being meaningless. So I mean, obviously if something big happens, that's something, but I don't care if, Xavier Legette just played 20 snaps. That doesn't mean much to me for getting into week 1 or week 2. So that's my stance on it. But preseason is king. NFL is king, I should say.
Yeah. I mean, they can pretty much do whatever.
Yep.
I feel like if they said, all right, the next hour we're gonna have a show where it's just the NFL logo on a wall, it would probably do like 7 million people watch it.
and somehow we'll end up having betting markets on it. Like we'll come up with it somehow. Like we'll be there, and it'll get money too.
Will the logo change at any point?
When we were in the heart of COVID and nothing was going on, our market for KBO baseball exploded. We had so much money coming in on KBO. Darts was a big sports for us. And your boy here was covering things that I never thought I would cover before. I was doing analysis on 90 Day Fiance. It was absolutely insane times during COVID. And I will always say that is what helped me grow as a person and in my career, that I worked through COVID and was employed during COVID in sports. And that's why I think I am where I am today. That was a big mover for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And here, speaking of the Texans receivers, we in score we hit Jaden Higgins. Here we're gonna hit Jalen Noel. So both Texans rookie receivers have a hit in this one. And we were talking while this one was pulled, but the aspirations rookie of Travis Hunter, 45 of 99.
Yep.
Now, DraftKings doesn't really do defensive things for players like tackles or anything like that. Has there been discussion on Travis Hunter scoring? Like if he has a pick 6, is he getting points for that on DraftKings?
Yeah, honestly, that is, I do not know the solidified answer for that. I believe they will kind of be running it almost like a Shohei Ohtani thing, where if you draft the Jaguars defense, look at that, 2 of them,
Rookie 3 on both.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So it's if you have like the Jaguars defense, obviously Hunter is included in that. If you draft Hunter as a wide receiver offensively, you're only getting the offensive scores. So like we have the same thing for Ohtani, where you can draft him as a pitcher, you can draft him as a hitter, but you're only getting those specific stats. I believe that's how they're running it. I have not got confirmation, but I would say I'm 85% sure that's the thought process.
Well, I actually like that because I see so many league managers, or league commissioners where people are arguing like, hey, I drafted Hunter.
Right.
I want his tackles or his pass breakups and stuff. Like, you've never had pass breakups. Larry Fitzgerald used to have like 10 tackles a season. He never got points for those.
Yeah, right. But I think it's almost like a stupid argument because it's like, okay, well, you can also have a guy, who plays on special teams or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like you're not getting, those stats. Like why? Because Travis Hunter is going to be a dual player that we all talk about now. It's important to you, but you didn't care about when guy was, returning a punt and you didn't get those yards. Like now you care. So
yep.
Just people making a big deal out of nothing is kind of how I think of it.
Yes.
You cannot place a bet on the 85%. I'm sorry. But I can inquire. For you.
Hey, we bet on everything. But no, a couple of things you was talking about. One, the KBO. At the time for breaking, there was 2 of us here that broke, and we were in different offices. How everything was split up. He worked all night shifts, and he used to text me at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, like, dude, I just won like $300 betting on this, and it was like some Japanese ping pong game. What are you doing? I was like, you might need to call a number.
Right. I mean, I'll tell you, the hardest thing for me was like, I would have to, there you go. Another one.
Another Travis Hunter there for the Jaguars.
Beautiful. I would have to do segments and shows about my picks for the KBO. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't know how to say any of these names. So I had to, I got an app, and basically I would, paste the name in, and then it would say it back to me. And then I would write it down. Like I would write it down, but it would be sounded out. So like it would be syllables. Like I'm in kindergarten. It'd be like, that sound dash, that sound dash. And that's how my script would look. And it was like, but what am I going to do? Like I wasn't going to remember. So it was just all these sounded out names with, syllables and everything. It was something. It was, I hope one day I can write a book just for the fact that I'm like, let's talk about 2020 and what I did. Like that would in itself would be the book.
It was insane, but I will tell you, I have watched darts in the past just for that announcer because he gets so hyped over to score 100. That's the most intense. Like you've heard Al Michaels, do you believe in miracles? He has nothing on somebody that hits a 100 in darts. Like, that guy loses his mind.
That guy, and then the who do you think you are? I am, dude, from bowling.
Pete Weber. Yep.
So, yeah, just some insane behavior for guys in these obscure sports.
He signs like so many cards for like the Leaf sets. Like, he does.
Leaf.
Yeah. They do bowling cards now, which actually had like Jerome Bettis, Hines Ward, and guys like that. So like they had the bowlers, and then they had celebrity bowlers that are like known for being really good bowlers too. Those went so hot that they were almost impossible to hold. Yeah. But it was like the first licensed Pete Weber autographs, and he inscribed on a bunch of them, who do you think you are? I am. Dude, those cards were nuts.
Every time I think I'm in tune with the card community, I find out I'm not even close. What?
You've been on the most now at 3. I've had the president of Leaf on twice, and he might be on a 3rd time before you're on a 4th time. So you guys are kind of like jostling back and forth. But
okay,
he killed me on one because he was talking about it, and he's like talking about their different stuff that they're doing, and he goes, unfortunately, the last time I was on, he goes, the only new product we had was PBR, and that was a miss on our part, and that just like threw me off that he just said that like live on stream, and I don't know where to go with the next question.
yeah Is that the bull riding?
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
They did professional bull riding. Yeah, he kind of trashed that product himself. Like,
It's like just insane products. Like, is it really going to generate like revenue? Like, you have
yeah,
to be at a loss on this.
he said that one struggled, but like
Oh
there's been some
wow, I
other
didn't
products.
expect that.
The bowling product was crazy. They have table
Wow.
tennis now with Leaf. Somebody just did lacrosse. That might be Leaf. Upper Deck just did professional women's hockey. Like, because I think it's because Fanatics snatched up all the main sports. Everybody else is like getting exclusive licenses with like all of the stuff on the outside. I don't know. Maybe ESPN the Ocho is going to be the thing. You know, that might.
How about instead of our next break when we're doing football and baseball, let's just do all obscure sports, and let's just figure it out as we go. So it'll be like bowling, PBR, women's hockey, and we'll just figure it out as we go. And let's see if it sells out. Let's hype it up. Let's see what we can do.
I'm a man of the people. Whenever,
because you know what, I bet we have betting markets on all this stuff you're talking about. So there's absolutely a tie-in somewhere.
Yeah. Right. Joe just said in the chat, pickleball was big. I don't know what the lady's name was, but you know, her first licensed autographs were in a pickleball set. They were selling for like $1,000. Those cards were nuts. And I don't think we had pickleball in stock for more than like a day, maybe 2 days at a time.
Who are you people? I need to know who you people are that are buying this stuff. I just want to talk to me and then let me know what's going on. This is nuts.
COVID changed people.
It changed me.
Everything changed.
Changed me. I was a Japanese connoisseur. Like, I was not what I expected, or whatever it was.
But you said about the KBO. I've ran breaks with those. The KBO league.
That's insane.
I ran. I saw that they put out some products, and I was like, told my managers, you gotta give me these. Like, they have Ichiro autographs. It was the Japanese league. It was the what's the name of the Japanese league? Whatever. It had Ichiro autographs. It had Sasaki autographs. It had Yamamoto autographs. It had some of the older guys, Matsui, Daisuke. Yeah. Like, it had everybody. I'm like, you gotta give me some of these products. Like, I think they're gonna be a hit. And we ran, I don't know, maybe 6-7 breaks of them. Like, they were fun. The only problem is everything's in Japanese. Like, the names are Korean or Japanese or whatever, and I don't know those. I don't know the names, so I couldn't pronounce anything. But then, like, every 6th card, you're like, oh, Gregory Polanco.
If you run that back, I'll get you the app that I use, and you just input the names, and it'll say it for you. And like that's how you can run that again.
I ran some different ones. And it ended up coming to the point where the free app I was using told me that I had ran out of translations. Because I was putting different names in for different products, and it just came up as like, no, you need an accountant to pay now. Like, you've used this enough. Man. Like, you have to pay for more. I was like, all right.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, so there's definitely some names out there. Now, again, I'm a fan of a lot of sports, so I've seen a lot of different pronunciations and stuff. I'll tell you, for me, it's the UFC and soccer. They're just so brutal for me because I can't, because a UFC card could be from anywhere in the world.
Totally.
And the same 5 letters of a name can be pronounced so many different ways. And if you don't know where that guy's from, you have no idea what that name is.
Right.
And
right.
Brett, our other breaker, he always yells at me. He's like, that's not how you pronounce it. I'm like, I don't watch UFC, so I don't know who these guys are. Like, whenever I pull the old ones like Ken Shamrock, Dan Severn, those guys, like, I know who those guys are. Like,
easy.
I used to watch the tournaments where it was all done in like one night where they'd fight like 4 times. That's the UFC that I knew. You know, I was like 5 years old watching that with my dad. You know, guy breaks his arm, they put it back in place, and he goes out and fights again. Like, that's the UFC I know. So I don't know anything about these guys. So it's I have a ton of respect for them. I don't know how to pronounce any of their names.
Yep.
It's so
it's
tough.
A struggle. You don't understand what these breakers go through, man. It's a struggle.
Well,
it seems like an easy job, but there's a lot to it.
You've done this. You did this for a while. Did you break soccer and things like that? Because if you don't know those guys, those are really tough.
We had like a whole case. I think it was like Premier League, and I was like, I'm gonna just show you a lot of these cards. I'm not gonna talk. I'll just show you. And that's what I did. I literally just showed the cards, and I was silent. I was like, you tell me if it's good. You let me know.
We had a breaker who didn't know hockey at all, and I'll be the first one to tell you. Like, I used to watch a lot of hockey. I don't watch a lot of hockey anymore. I didn't watch any games last year, so I don't watch a lot of hockey anymore. I still know the stars. I still try to keep up with the stats and things like that. I mean, it's kind of my job too to know what's going on. So I still try to keep up, and enough to where I know a lot of the names. I might mispronounce them, but that's just because I'm an idiot. I know what they are. But we had another breaker, and he was so bad at the hockey names that he goes, "Oh, and here's a Patrick Roy," and he got a message from management. It was like, maybe you should just show the cards. Don't even worry about pronouncing them anymore.
Right. I mean, I know that one. Come on.
All right, guys, we are going to randomize our prizes now. Again, they're listed in this order: Josh Allen, Saquon Barkley, Aiden Hutchinson. So those will be 1 through 3. The fourth name is going to get Mystery Rookie 3 twice. We have the Gem Masters from Score and the Mystery Rookie from Elite. So that will go to whoever comes up fourth on this list. So we'll jump over here. Randomize 5 times here. And 5. So the Josh Allen is going to go to who has the Pittsburgh Steelers. And that's going to be Terry. Congratulations there, Terry. Josh Allen is a really nice Nike jersey. Number 2 is Saquon Barkley there, I believe. Is that who it was? Yeah, Saquon Barkley. And that's going to go to the Cincinnati Bengals. And that's going to David. I got to write these down or else I'll forget them. And number 3 was the Houston Texans. That's who gets the Aiden Hutchinson. And the Texans go to Corey. And who gets our Mystery 3 rookies? The Arizona Cardinals. What do you think? Is there a Cardinals rookie out there that could be those mystery rookies?
Off the top of my head, I don't know. I don't think. But hey, I don't think anybody called Puka Nakua anytime soon. So
yeah,
heck do we know?
Absolutely, the truth there. You know what? I did play in some leagues where guys were like pumped because whenever Puka went off, they're like, yeah, I threw a dart throw on him because I saw him play in college. And I'm like, well, kudos to you because
right. That's always the analysis that wins you leagues.
Yeah. I saw this guy play 2 games in college, and I thought,
right,
there's a chance. But you know how it is. The next year at the draft, they're telling everybody, like, no, I know these guys.
Oh, yeah.
I drafted Puka at 4'11" in the Dynasty draft, and now...
Right, yeah, those are the guys who want to, I should be commissioner now. Like, all right, buddy, let's reel it back in a bit.
All right, let's look at some of our top hits here as well. Really nice aspirations, Travis Hunter out of 99. We had a George Karlaftis gold out of 10 from Score. We had the Xavier Worthy Finest Prodigies auto. Michael Penix out of Rookies and Stars. I didn't get your take on that one. I love this set, Rookies and Stars. There's so many numbered parallels, and here's one of Michael Penix number to 35. So
very underrated, very underrated, and I think also a good retail product too.
Absolutely. And then we had the Kaboom way back in our first pack, Christian McCaffrey. We talked about it before we went live. We said this is the time that we're going to pull that real big hit. Here it is. Christian McCaffrey, Kaboom, number to 10. Really like that one. All right. Thanks again, Steve, for joining me here. Always a lot of fun talking to you, having you on. Like we said, definitely want to try that football-baseball crossover, see what we can do there.
Unless you want to do the other idea I had. I mean, we can do whatever you want. But if you want to do, the field hockey and bowling, we can take a shot.
So we'll do some football and baseball crossover.
All right.
We'll get a date scheduled for that. Talk about it here off air, and we'll figure that out for us. Yeah, best of luck to you with DraftKings this year. I know I'll be paying some of your salary for sure.
Love that.
Yeah, the Millie Maker. You have to do it at least a couple times a year. I mean, you look at it like it's an impossible task, but you have to try it.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely worth the shot. Even if you don't get the Millie, you're in the top 10. You're talking about 5-figure payday in there. It's a big field. But DraftKings Network, dknetwork.draftkings.com is that's where my primary spots is. A lot of analysis on there. Get you ready for all your contests and everything. A lot of pro wrestling content, by the way, is another plug. Some good AEW stuff on there if you're an AEW guy. A lot of stuff on there too as well. But yeah, dknetwork.draftkings.com. Check it out. Ton of content for all your sports, all your daily fantasy and bets. And as always, Steve, appreciate it as always. And looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, sounds good. All right. Have a good one, Steve.
All right, dude. Bye-bye.